name is Jeff White. I'm the Chief of your Emergency Medical Service here in Riley Township, which is where we stand, but I work for Richmond Lenox EMS and operate that organization. I've been here since 1989, so a few years here in the community. My wife and I are actually pretty proud members of the Riley community ourselves. To give everybody just kind of an overview, this building will be staffed officially 24/7 beginning this Sunday at 7 a.m. So that's when the ambulance will move in. That's our first Sunday in our June schedule, and from then on it will be staffed around the clock every day. This really beautiful new facility was a plan we began to discuss at the EMS, and even with some of the members of the Riley Township Board. I see Dwayne Hagel here. You know, we probably discussed this in Don France 10 or 12 years ago with a vacant piece of property up the road. And it was based on a pretty simple vision of simply bringing life-saving care to a really underserved part of St. Clair County. There's just nothing here. There's not a doctor, there's not a hospital, there's not, even emergency medical service. Our closest station was just south of Memphis at School Section. So it was a pretty simple idea of bringing this to the community. The question was, how do we get it funded and how could we all work together to make it happen? Well, Riley Township became a big part of that because they acquired this building out of basically tax foreclosure. There's probably some fancier and maybe a more politically correct word than that, but that's what we'll call it for tonight. And they became the owners of the building. Through some discussions with their elected officials, they said, would that building be of value to the EMS to move forward with your plans? We said yes. They sold it to us for an incredibly small amount of money. It was about $50,000. It's all a matter of public record, I guess, so it can be disclosed. And so we bought what had been Dr. Gideon's office from the township for that amount of money. We then just kind of gutted it. Everybody is welcome to take a walk through it. Oh, it's air conditioned in there. And you're welcome to take a walk through it and take a look at the building and take a look at what we did inside. And then we added this garage space, which is, I always call this the working part of the building, where the ambulances are kept. So tonight, we really wanted everybody here to join us in a celebration in a celebration and not speeches. So that's about it. What I have to say this evening. I would far rather spend a lot more time with you all being able to visit with each other. Many of you know each other. This is something the community can be very proud of, so we brought the community here to celebrate with us. We'd love for you to see the building and take a walk through it. When we're all done, the food's smelling pretty good over there, and we do have food that was provided for us with the help of Bell River Golf Club right here in our community, and Mike Rushing and the crew out there. St. Creek Ryan who helped out and celebrated. We're not officially open as the EMS facility yet, so we can have a little bit of wine here in the building, and might need to have a couple of beers for those folks that would like that tonight. So we hope you'll stay around and enjoy it and join us afterwards. And you want to take a minute to introduce some of the folks, some of the folks that kind of really made tonight happen. And I'm not going to give everybody by name because I think that we could get really long on. I do want to mention my immediate staff. Courtney Olson, who's my executive assistant, she's here somewhere. Kim, who works for us in our senior department and in our transit division, her mom, who really was responsible for making this really look pretty. They went out and got flowers from Justo's in Richmond Township, who wouldn't let us pay for them, on top of all else. Our deputy chiefs are here tonight. We're the guys who really run the EMS on a day-to-day basis. One is Denny Spence, who's been with me just a couple of days, and Kellen Rickert, who is responsible for operations down at Station Number 1. That's the big building in Richmond. And Kevin Egley, who, he'll probably be the guy that wants to give you the tour tonight because this will be his building going forward. So he will operate what we call EMS Station Number 4 here. I want to make certain I take a minute to recognize the actual owners of the EMS. Some people say, you know, Jeff White and the EMS, nothing could be further from the truth. The EMS was owned by Richmond and Lenox Township long before Jeff White was ever here, and it will be owned by Richmond and Lenox Township long after Jeff White was gone. So I have a number of our board members here from Richmond Township as well as Lenox Township, and thank you all for being here, and thank you for providing us the support to be able to actually do this in our neighboring, not only neighboring community, but our neighboring county. This is the first, although Richmond Lenox EMS has served a very large section geographically of St. Clair County for a number of years, this is our first building that actually sits in the county of St. Clair. We also have representatives here. I saw come in from Lenox Township, which is the other name on the side of the ambulances, and on the peak of this building are here tonight as well, and they too are the co-owners of your local emergency medical centers. I saw a few members from the Wheels Township Board. I don't think anybody is happier than they are, except maybe the people in Riley that were here, just as much as we'll be able to really improve response capabilities and response times to their residents being here. I saw the supervisor from Columbus Township came in. I'm not sure if there's any other board members from Columbus or not. A lot of people were coming in all at once, and I couldn't get everybody's name written down that fast. But Columbus Township's here. This station will basically serve primarily Riley, Wales, some of northern Columbus Township, a little bit of northern Richmond Township, and the city of Memphis is what will be served primarily out of this building that's here, that we're also the antidote. I saw from Memphis, I saw one of our public safety partners, Chief Doug Pratt, is here. Doug's not only the fire chief here for the city of Memphis, but he also is the chairman of the Riley Township Planning Commission. And so we have, as you build a new building or as you add on to a building, there's a number of steps you have to work with the Planning Commission on. And we appreciated Doug and all his assistance in getting us through that as well. Ruth Sulkowski's here. Where's Ruth? Ruth, I think everybody in the community recognizes is Memphis's unofficial historian, or maybe they make her the official historian in the building. She lives just down the road from this building as well, so I couldn't do this without her here because we want her to be able to include that as she includes all that goes on in Memphis. And I saw our cameraman tonight is Eric Schneider, who is a member of the Memphis City Council. So thank you, Eric, for being here tonight. We have the Director of Emergency Management for St. Clair County is here, Justin Westmiller, and the Director of the St. Clair County CDA, the Central Dispatch Authority, which is how we get our 911 calls, is here. So Tina Bricker is here somewhere. I know I saw her come in a few moments ago. I did. She's the guy that gives you all the work, guys. So if you ever want to, yell at somebody, it can be her and not me. I have a number of members of my family here, my parents, some of our daughters, a couple of my grandsons. You'll see the little people floating around here. I want to thank Chris Kane. I know he got invited. He's the fellow that owns the building next door. Chris also is a resident here in Riley Township. Many of you may know Chris. He grew up here, basically, in this community, and we needed to borrow his parking lot money because this building will only ever have probably about 3 people in it at any given time. So 10 parking spots seemed like more than enough to the Planning Commission at the time, but tonight that probably didn't seem like quite enough parking places. So we did work with our neighbor to do that. Finally, I want to again thank the board from Riley Township. I see that there are a number of the board members here. There's some past board members here that were involved in this. I see the township supervisor, Al in the back there. And if not for Riley Township and their generosity with regard to this building, we would probably still have a vacant piece of land up on 19 trying to decide what we're going to do with it. So this really came to fruition thanks to the elected officials here in the community. Finally, I want to take a minute and recognize one of the people I talked about the EMS starting in 1975 and not being mine, and it wasn't even my idea, but it was the idea of a fellow named Vern Pearl. Vern was one of the, he was kind of the founding father of the EMS. We lost Vern at the height of COVID before he could see the station completed, although he and I have spoken about it on a number of occasions. He still stayed engaged in the EMS. Those of you that know Vern from the community, he did assessing work for some of your communities out here, and know that Vern stayed engaged, and he would want to know what was going on. And so we talked about the plans for this building and how it was going to move forward. When Vern passed, again, it was kind of in the midst of COVID, and with all going on in the pandemic, there wasn't traditional funeral services that heroes often receive. And normally a person like Vern receives a funeral that, like I say, with honor guards and uniformed personnel, and that couldn't occur at that time. That said, certainly the EMS will never forget his contribution. And if you're walking through the building, you'll see the flag that was flying over our station, our headquarters, on the day of his passing. And that is framed in the front lobby. So the Pearl family is with us tonight. We appreciate them being here as part of this, and we ask you to take a moment to look at the memorial to Vern there at the front of the building before we leave here. At this point, I think what I'd like to do is invite up two gentlemen that are here from the levels of state government, and that is we have with us tonight from Representative Jeannie Green's office, Jeff Yard, and as well as our state senator for this area, and now an expanded area that covers most of our communities that will be covered by the station, Senator Dan Lowers. And I think Jeff has a presentation that he would make. So Jeff, I know I get too far on a tangent, I promise people it's going to be too short, but Jeff is actually an alumni of Richmond, Lenox EMS. Before he did a career with the Clinton Township Fire Department, and then likes to say he went to the firehouse of the state house after that, so he was state representative, and then came to retired term limits, and now works for Representative Green, who represents this area. So Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Excuse me. It's really a record to be here. So, if anybody remembers, I'm going to keep it short because I'm not a politician. But I started in the 90s with Richmond Lenox, and this station more so reminds me of the original station on 32 Mile. There was one station, one ambulance staff 24 hours a day. Wasn't 4 stations. And when we get a call up in here, it's like, oh my gosh, we're going way out. And the amount of time that it took, unfortunately, to get from Richmond up into these areas. We did the best we could. It was only one crew. And to see the growth and the development and the expansion of service and for the betterment of the people. So I said, it's a special day how we actually wrote these ambulances for Richmond Lenox. I'll keep it short. The grand opening of Station 4 marks a beacon of positivity in the community. With the expansion of both emergency and non-emergency services in the Gulf County, the community will experience the benefits of having more accessibility to all the services that EMS station provides. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to commend and celebrate the grand opening of Richmond Lenox EMS Station 4. We salute your efforts in making the community a better place. And signed by Senator Dan Bowers and my boss, Representative Jeannie Green, who's so very sorry that she couldn't attend tonight. She's very committed to EMS and fire, and she asked me to stay on. So EMS and fire is a big priority for Representative Green, with such a big advocate within her office, pushing for those things. So, thank you. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. So again, the last 2 items of business then tonight, before the fun can begin, if you will, is I'm going to ask kind of everybody in a moment to kind of turn around and move, get up and move towards the garage door back there, the bay door. We're going to have a ribbon stretched out there. The Blue Water Chamber of Commerce is here tonight. They're helping us with the ribbon cutting event. I'm going to ask, there's only so many people I can have put hands on the scissors tonight. We will, but I am going to ask if a member of the Pearl family, and I'll let the Pearl family decide who that will be, will help with the cutting of the ribbon. I'd also like Al Titus there. He's our township supervisor here in Riley Township. And Anthony Reeder is our supervisor from Lenox. He's here, so I'd like to have him in there, as well as the treasurer of Richmond Township. I don't think our supervisor is here. So, because I think she is the longest serving member of my ambulance authority board from Richmond Township. So the supervisor will ask her to do that. She'll hide her arm in the slings and then put her on the spot.
Okay. Joyce Doyle from the Blue Water Area Chamber, thank you for coming. What a fabulous new addition to St. Clair County. Let's give these guys a big round of applause. We are very proud to have the Richmond Lenox EMS as a part of the Blue Water Area Chamber. We are very excited for you, and a big congratulations. And on the count of 3, we're going to cut this fabulous ribbon. 1, 2, 3.
All right, and now the last part of this. We have with us tonight the commander from the American Legion Post. He's going to be accompanied by my deputy chief, Denny Spence, and Marty Hartway, who's one of our longest. I think I hired Marty my second day on the job here at Richmond Lenox EMS. So the two of them are going to assist the commander. We're going to be raising 2 flags on that post. One is the flag of the United States, and the flag underneath it is actually the flag of Riley County.
My husband was asking about these things.